take a sip of some Saxon wine. The indie bubba's gonna blow your mind. Eurasian goose beer can make you feel so queer, my dear. Whoa. A little swig of some Bass Snake gin, and this journey is ready to begin. A good occasion for some Chateau d'Asian and some Christmas cheer. Whoa. I know the journey may be long, but what we got, it tastes so strong. All I smell is liquor corroding my mind. Red blue trading, pretty heavy laden. Don't try to stop me, I'll run you down. Red blue trading, pretty heavy laden. Don't touch that bottle, boy, cause that one's mine. Red blue trading, pretty heavy laden. Don't try to stop me, I'll run you down. Red blue trading, pretty heavy laden. Don't touch that bottle, boy, cause that one's mine. That one's mine. We head to Hutton for the longest leg. I'll have a snifter for the journey ahead. This leads to evil juice and so bad with some fruited cream. Whoa. A finger full of their local froth. One harm of silver sea rum is good enough. Count out the time until we taste that century mega gin. Whoa. Red blue trading, pretty heavy laden. Don't try to stop me, I'll run you down. Red blue trading, pretty heavy laden. Don't touch that bottle, boy, cause that one's mine. Red blue trading, pretty heavy laden. Don't try to stop me, I'll run you down. Red blue trading, pretty heavy laden. Don't touch that bottle, boy, cause that one's mine.
Lave Radio. It's even louder than me. Wait a minute. That can't be right.
Hello and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders.
Greetings, Commanders.
The show that talks about the universe of Elite
and the development of the computer game Elite 4, known as Elite Dangerous,
and the fantastic community that surrounds it.
Broadcast from a current Sidewinder and hosted by a vending machine technician.
A place of nonsense and innuendo for forum dads.
A self-contained podcast 2 hours long.
Transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
It's even louder than me.
The hottest show this side of Dizzo.
The name of the place.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to episode 577 of Lave Radio, the show that talks about the universe of Elite Dangerous and the fantastic community that surrounds it. I'm your host, Commander Phoenix to Fire, otherwise known as Colin Ford, Chief Archivist of Lave Station, and joining me in the orange sidewinder bar for this episode, we have our SRV Banksy, that would be the lovely Commander Alec Turner.
Hello, good evening.
We have our Head of Health and Safety, the effervescent Commander Adler Weiss, otherwise known as Ben Moss Woodward.
Good evening, hello.
And, of course, we have our Staff Liaison Officer, the very fragrant Commander Secret, otherwise known as Claire.
Hello.
Hello. So, yes, if you wish, you can join us live. We're hanging out in the game in open at the bar at Lave Station. Say hello to the Chris Mark IV if you can. If you can't get to us in game, you can always join us in the Twitch chat channel, which you can access through laveradio.com/live. Click on the live chat or go to twitch.tv/laveradio. So, we'll just quickly go around the crew, see how they've been for the last week or so. So we'll start with Alec this time, if it's okay.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, nice week. For some reason, actually, this started a couple of weeks ago. We've been watching the more recent Star Trek movies, the three, beginning with the J.J. Abrams one and the next two. They're very good. The first one in particular, the original Abrams one, I'm going to piss some people off maybe, but I think that is easily the best Star Trek film ever made. It's fantastic.
Even better than Khan?
Yes. Yeah, it's superb. And then, but then to round it off, this was the real joy. To round it off, we watched Galaxy Quest.
Oh, classic.
It's so good. I haven't seen it. I mean, I've seen it hundreds of times, but it's been a while. Dated ever so slightly, but honestly, no, it's fantastic. Never give up, never surrender. Good
I
stuff.
grab Thor's hammer.
I like my favourite bit. I think is when he has to do that in the car park of the supermarket, and the line is, "What a savings!" If I grab Thor's hammer, what a savings!
One of my favourite bits from that is actually one of the outtakes where Tim Allen has actually got to break a line to one of the dying crew members,
right?
And he says this line, and then after he's finished, he's going, "Look, I'm really upset. I need to go and chill out in my trailer." And everyone goes, "What's wrong with him?" And then Alan just turns around and said, "I think he's just experienced acting." Oh yes. So yeah,
it's a joy. Great film. And then speaking of great films, actually, I swapped my bank holiday, so I didn't really want to take yesterday off particularly. So I went into work, which is weird in its own way because London is empty and the office is empty. I sort of
sounds like the best time to go into the office, to be honest.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. It's a bit weird, but it's all right. But basically, so I could take today off because it's my son's cinema day today. So I took him to see Project Hail Mary, which is my second visit to see it at the cinema. Still fantastic. Really enjoyed it. So good.
It's my bump.
It's my bump, indeed. And then the only other bit of news, and this will determine whether or not I'm on next week, maybe, is we have the OpenReach engineers coming around this Friday to upgrade us to full fibre because we have copper from the cabinet, and they're gonna route full fibre to the house. But I'm very nervous about where the hell they're going to route it. So we shall see.
Yeah.
And then, and obviously they want to give us a new router, and so I'm obviously extremely nervous about the internet being switched off and never coming back again. But oh well, we'll see. In game Waypoint, we were at Distant Worlds Waypoint 13, which had two awesome things. So we had Guardian Ruins, which were I built this on foot time trial, which was an absolute hoot. So the kind of, what are they called, the obelisks, and this particular ruins has 3 parallel very long rows of obelisks. There must be a good 20 or 30 of them down the row. So I basically built a running race where you start at one end and then you have to basically hop from obelisk to obelisk all the way down, all the way back the middle row, and then all the way down the last row. And it was what was best was we did it like Greaves was running some live events on the Saturday evening, which I had a look at. And we had like 30 or 40 commanders just running up and down those obelisks, which was just a joy to behold. It was such fun.
I've seen a screenshot of a bunch of commanders stood on a triangle
Yeah.
shaped thing. Are you one of those commanders in there?
Yeah.
Okay,
Probably.
amazing.
Yeah, quite probably. But then also what was really cool about Waypoint 13, and I've literally been waiting the entire expedition to see these, was it's near to the Void Hearts, which are super cool. I'm so glad I finally got to see them. They're awesome. They're bigger than I thought, and they make very weird noises, and they just look fantastic. They're the sort of tangled balls of. They look like a tangled ball of like wicker weaving or something, but with a.
Don't you think they look like an evil? Is it Jigglypuff or something? Or
I don't know what they are. They've got this fire at their heart, and they're super cool. Colin had something to say on the subject.
Yeah, do they only exist in one system?
Yeah, I believe
that we've
so.
discovered so far.
Yeah.
Isn't it like
so
one
far.
area or something rather than?
It might be an area. It might. I was going to say. It might
I
be an
don't know.
area.
I'm like acting like I have any knowledge about exploration whatsoever. I'll back off. I'll stay in my lane, lads.
But it's quite a long way. Like it's northeast of Sagittarius A, and every time I've sort of been in the bubble and reached the end of my to-do list and thought, oh, I really ought to pop over and see the Void Hearts, I've always looked and thought, bugger that. So it was nice to finally find myself close and be able to go and see them because they were awesome. Yeah, it's a good weekend.
Excellent. According to Big AI Cappuccino, there's 3 systems in that area that have got them. So, yeah.
Tentative Claire was right. What?
Yeah. Amazing. Right.
About exploration and everything. Wild.
Ben, I can see you sort of showing off your Caspian there. Go on then.
So yeah, I'm currently we've arrived at Waypoint 14. My weekend though was basically forming long lines of about 40 space lobsters, getting ready for the mass jump on Sunday, and we had penetrating lobsters, we had ghost lobsters, we had exploding lobsters. And we also had people dropping in right on top of exploding lobsters. But it was a lot of fun. And amazingly enough, there weren't any reported crashes in my instance.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So, and there's about 40 odd people, I think, in the instance when we jumped. There was like 40 space lobsters and 1 Caspian. So yeah, we had a lot of fun with that. Other thing that has happened was my brother-in-law introduced me to Schedule 1, saying, try this, you'll find it nice and relaxing. It's bloody stressful as all heck. It's basically you're a drug kingpin, and I seem to be at the stage of running around town, dodging the cops, and not finding it relaxing at all. On the other hand, I did find out there is a mod that adds cats to the game, and I'm okay with that. I also finished Spider-Man 1 for the second time, I think it was. And I've been watching the Spider-Man films as well. I forgot about the Tom Holland. I've gone through the Andrew Garfield and the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man films, and I've just finished. I think I'm now up to date with the Tom Holland ones as well. Oh, and if you haven't seen it, technically the first season, although arguably the first half of Darth Maul has finished, and that is also amazing.
That's the animated thing that you were saying was hand drawn.
Yeah. Well, there is definitely aspects that is hand drawn.
Yeah.
It is, but my God, it is such a work of art.
Cool. Yeah, after last week's show, I went and looked at some shots. Actually, it does look
Yeah,
really nice.
it is so beautiful. Some of that, and I'm quite enjoying the storyline. Well, it's the first season, which they've already finished the second season, but the first season, it is good and very enjoyable so far. I mean, obviously, spoiler: Darth Maul has to survive.
Yes.
But
didn't he get chopped in half? Is this a prequel to all that?
This is after he got chopped in half, but before he is encountered in Solo.
Oh yeah, of course, because he survived for Solo, didn't he? I'd forgotten that.
Yeah, and he also plays a very big arc in Star Wars Rebels
and Clone Wars.
Yeah, and Clone Wars.
I would thoroughly recommend you watching Clone Wars. The first two series, I can't stand them, but then after that, it gets so much better.
So good. I mean, the final season is absolutely gorgeous again. Yeah, love Clone Wars, love Rebels as well. And that's really been about my life, I guess. Oh, I did a very minor Colin. I managed to very slowly while cycling down to the canal.
Oh no!
So
cycling and canals do not work well.
Yeah. So the turn off the main road, then you go down a relatively steep footpath down onto the canal, and then you've got about 120, 140 degree turn again to get onto the canal and going the way you want to go. Right. That final 120 degree turn, because I'm going to say because it's a new bike and I'm not used to everything about it, etc. I managed to do a very, basically a 0 miles an hour fall, and managed to somehow scrape my leg. And even a week later, I actually went to the pharmacist because my daughter's got chickenpox, which I have never had, and I've been quarantined away from her, which is why I've been watching Spider-Man and playing games. But I was like, okay, I am about 90% certain this is from me falling, basically at 0 miles an hour off my bike, and not chickenpox, but I didn't hurt myself. And I've just got these bumps on my leg. So I was like, I'm going to go and see what the pharmacist says. And he says, yeah, as long as you're not feverish, don't worry about it. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, that's been my life.
Excellent. We'll move on. Are you available, Claire?
I am. Yeah, I'm good.
Good. Okay, Claire.
Hi. It's been a week. It's my birthday on Thursday, so this weekend we went.
Sorry.
This weekend we went to Cribs because it's not that far from us to Cribs. We went to Cribs to go to the Lego shop and go to other things. Also, we went on May the 4th because the gift with purchase was pretty fucking cool. There was a little pin thing that was one of the gifts with purchases, and the other one was like a mini Razor Crest. But then that was a £35 gift with purchase. But then you had to spend 145 quid to get the dark, what's it called? The dark saber.
Oh,
is that
yes.
a thing?
The
dark saber hilt. You had to spend 145 quid, and I was walking around that store for a really long time. It felt like a really, really, really long time. Weirdly, long time, and none of the stuff that was in there was like jumping out to me at all. And I was like, I'm gonna go away and not get any Lego, and it's gonna make me real sad. And also the only gift with purchase, by the time we got there, the only gift with purchase that they still had available in the store was the 145 quid one. And with the best will in the world, my budget was around 80. So I wasn't going to stretch to 145 quid anyway. and we were like looking around, and they've got a really nice like botanicals flower wall, which is nice, but I'd like it to come down a little bit in price. And anything else, I was like, they didn't have the chess set which is a piece that I really wanted. They have a big an enlarged like Lego minifig astronaut. So you build him. He's 26 centimeters tall.
Farley's got that. It's amazing.
Yeah, I kind of want that one, but I didn't want it enough. I didn't want it enough that day, and I said to Chris, why don't we go to Smith's, because there's one like on the way home when we get into Wales. There's one on the way home, and we might be able to hit that one up before we get to bank holiday closing time, that kind of stuff. So I Googled it, and there was a Smith's literally just around the corner, and the Smith's around the corner that had everything. So I've got a one of the artworks, which is one of the newer artworks, which is the sakura tree, or like the cherry blossoms. It's like the Japanese artwork, and it's got a waterfall that comes out of the painting. It's stunning. It's absolutely stunning. So I've got that one, and I'm gonna build it very soon, but I can't wait. Very excited by that purchase. Thank you to my husband for like getting me that. And then Kremen also bought me the rocking plants as well, which I've already got the happy plants, and they're like the next in the series of that. So I'm excited. I've got 5 boxes of Lego that I haven't built in my house yet. I've got a lot of Lego. Anyway, video games have been a lot of space games. I played a bit of Elite, because, as I said, as soon as something happens in Elite, I'm going to play. And lo and behold, something happened and I played. I did a lot of station rescues. I have thoughts and notes. I'd like them to change ever so slightly. But I've still done a lot of station rescues. Really, really enjoyed myself. The other space game that I've played, it came out last week. It's called Aphelion. And it's very much a sci-fi space game. It's by the makers of Life is Strange. It's from Dope Nod. And it was really good. I enjoyed the gameplay. The gameplay's a little bit janky in places. I sobbed my heart out. If you enjoyed Deliverer's Mars, I would say that Aphelion is the closest at the moment to a spiritual successor to Deliverer's Mars. And it's not just because it's done in line, or it's being done with input from the European Space Agency, and they're wearing all the uniforms, and they have all the insignia and all of that stuff. Half of it is, absolutely, but it does feel. It feels like they saw some of the gameplay of the Deliverer's Home on Kickstarter and went, "Oh, we can make this game. We can make this game and do that." So we are. I finished it today. The music is beyond a shadow of a doubt the most polished thing about the game. The voice acting is very, very good. The performances of the two main actors is outstanding. It's very sci-fi and spacey and difficult at times, and oh my gosh, there's an element to it that I was predicting, but I predicted it the wrong way round, and I'm going to be thinking about it for a really long time. So that's my games. I'm still playing Andromeda outside of everything else, trying to 100% Andromeda. I killed another architect, and I never killed on the first way through. So on my first playthrough, so there is that. But I'm like, there's loads of space games, and I'm having a lot of fun with them. There's a scary one coming out soon, and I don't know if I'm going to play that. But that's pretty much me. What have you been up to, Colin?
Well, the weekend was a bit of a bust, really, because everybody seemed to be ill in this house, and I feel like I'm kind of isolating myself to stop catching it from everybody else. Yeah, so and funny you should mention that. Remember last week I sort of said that we'd had a lot of people round to use the hot tub. Yeah, it's that mucky. Yeah, it's that mucky. I had to go and buy a blooming hot tub vacuum.
Blimey, Cole.
Yes.
Wow.
Hey. Yeah. So there's those things. So yeah, the weekend was a bit of a a bit of a bust. However, the one thing I have been able to do, apart from playing, I'm about halfway through my Mass Effect run now, so I'm halfway through Mass Effect 2. I have been playing an awful lot of Elite. I have been anti-pirating. I have been getting used to the adder cockpit in the Lynx, which, to tell you the truth, I can now get past the cockpit and enjoy my war rocket Ajax, as I call it, as I fly about rescuing, surprisingly, just politicians.
Yes, I'm hearing this a lot.
I mean, the only thing that I can think of is that everybody else got out, and it's just the politicians being left to burn. And then on top of that, they are too
Can I
posh.
present an alternative solution to that?
I hadn't finished, Ben. Never mind. What was that, Ben?
It could also be that the politicians are just getting themselves out, not give a shit about anyone else.
But there's nobody else. There's nobody else. It's just politicians.
Yeah, and that surprises you. You know, if let's say Keir and his mates wanted out, do you think you'd see a job going for Bob the cleaner to get and lift out? I don't think so.
Wow, I didn't mean this to get political. Jeez. Well, apart from the fact
politicians.
Politicians. Yeah, so and the other thing I was going to say was the fact that half the time I could only rescue about 100 at a time. Because all the rest of them, they're too posh for economy. They don't want to fly economy. Ooh, I'd rather burn. Well, you burn then. So
Kremen had a funny reasoning for this. He was like, when I come back and suddenly there's more politicians looking for economy slots, it's because they realise and they have to lower their standards on the next trip because they get still getting a bit toasty.
It must have been some kind of conference that was happening there, or a party. But
yeah, that was my thought, yeah.
let's just move on from that then before everything goes. Although one thing that I did find was that when I was doing the pirating CG, getting rid of the pirates rather, the fact that you've actually got to drop off your pirate bonds in the burning station in order to get any credit for the CG. Yeah,
really?
So you got to fly in and your ship is burning up. And it's not like the other ones, because this one burns up, the Kestrel burns up a lot faster.
So how do you hand them in? Because I thought all the normal station services were shut down in those rescue.
No, the
scenarios.
entire station menu is there. You can
really?
access anything on it.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting.
But it's a little bit different from the existing CGs, and I guess we'll talk about that later when we talk about what's been happening in game. So yeah, because I've got a few opinions about this as well. Yes, we'll share notes. Right, development news. What have the devs said this week? Well, they haven't actually said anything new. However, we did miss a few things yesterday with the passenger mission changes. Obviously, you'll have found by now you've got the new bulk passenger evacuation missions. Everybody's been doing those. Why they're all politicians, we do not know. Although apparently that's been updated to tourists now. They've actually added passenger missions variants in to support medium landing pads, which, because before you either had a large ship or a small ship, there wasn't anything in between.
Is that true? Inside burning stations, there were no medium pads?
No, I mean passenger missions in general.
Oh, okay. I never knew that.
Yeah, because the Orca's a large ship. There was never been a medium passenger vessel.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. They've added passenger type stats to player journal entries, and they've made adjustments to the passenger UI, cabin UI for higher passenger cabin capabilities, whichever that is. So yeah, this is one thing that I don't know. I don't know whether you can take a passenger mission down to an Odyssey settlement. I don't know whether they put that in. I know you can take passengers from an Odyssey settlement, but you can't. I don't think you can take one too. So maybe we'll just have to do a little bit of research onto that. And the other thing was brought to us by the Bears, which was they've made an adjustment to the Imperial Cutter's gangplank, because if anybody has had an Imperial cutter, you'll know that it was Giant's Causeway. You couldn't walk up there. So, but now apparently you can, because it now looks sensible to scale. And of course, combined with the fact that you've now got the internal gangplanks on the links (brackets Africa), every single time everyone mentions the links, exactly. It's so yeah. Every time they mention the fact that they've made changes to getting inside a ship, everyone on the forums have got really excited about it.
Yeah, it's an odd one, isn't it? To just suddenly go back and go, oh, let's fix the Imperial Cutter's gangplank after all this time.
There's still about 5 or 6 other ships that need scaling properly. I mean, the Cobra Mark V, it's like Munchkin land when you get to the top of the ramp.
What about the Cobra Mark III?
I don't know the Cobra Mark III.
Aren't there a couple of ships that don't even? I mean, there's a few actually that don't even have gangplanks, and you basically have to jump and see if you can catch hold of the ladder that hangs down the back.
Well,
I know
like
the
a fire
got a
escape
ladder at the
or
back.
something.
Yeah, I do know that there's a lot of them. I've got what do you call it? They've got what looks like lift mechanisms, because they showed it on the. They had an advert or one of these promotional videos they did with the Crate Mark II for multi-crew, and that got everybody excited because it showed people getting on.
Did it?
Yeah, it showed people getting on a Crate Mark II by using this lift thing, and everyone thought, "Oh, that means we're going to get in ship interiors," and then that didn't happen. So it's
fake news.
Yeah, fake news. So yes, so that's all that is us genuinely caught up with all the development news. So I guess I'll hand over to you, Alec, for the community news.
Go for it.
And now, to the community coroner.
It's a dead game, innit, mate?
Right, got a few random bits that I managed to draw. First was another lovely video by Beetlejude called the Peduncle Tree Cloud. It's the usual kind of speeded up Beetlejude doing a fantastic drawing of some peduncle trees, which were another recent highlight of one of the DW3 waypoints. And just so I'll include the link to the video. It's the usual fantastic video, but also just as a kind of heads up, I think she said something to the effect that she was going to donate it to Operation Warbucks, which I think is upcoming. I've included a Tiltify link for Operation Warbucks, which is a big charity Twitch streamer drive coming up in a week or so, I think. I quite like the subtitle of this year's Operation Warbucks, which is Eradicoiding Cancer. Good one. Right, item 2. Quite an interesting video by Midnight Black called Why Commanders Quit Elite Dangerous and Don't Come Back. And if you can kind of get past the slightly sort of let me tell you why everyone quits sort of thing. I mean, it doesn't come over in that tone, but obviously people quit for lots of reasons. But it's quite a nice, thoughtful piece on the idea that a lot of people quit because they just sort of slowly and quietly stop playing. And I quite like the notion that he goes into that one of the things that can happen is that once you've done all your sort of initial learning, and maybe the excitement's worn off and stuff, and then you start watching videos that tell you how to build ships and how to do things, and it sort of stops being this adventure that you're experiencing, and it just becomes a bit of a job list of things to do. And I don't know, there's some good points. I think it's worth a watch if you're just curious on a sort of theory about why people quit and the sort of things that can happen. Item 3 was very intriguing. So item 3 is called "To All Commanders, Introducing the New Standalone Prototype Elite Dangerous Control Module" by Fun of Flying. Looking at the channel, I think Fun of Flying is probably a flight sim channel mostly, but a few years ago, about 4 years ago, I think, they published a video about a custom page created in Touch Portal. I don't remember Touch Portal, but it's one of these things you can have on an iPad where you basically have a grid of buttons and you can tap them and have them deploy your landing gear and stuff like that in Elite Dangerous. And anyway, Fun of Flying created this sort of custom page that looked very nice. It was just nice and simple and a big grid of orange buttons. Anyway, as it says in the video, this got me thinking about whether or not it would be possible for me to build some sort of electronic version of the same thing based on my Touch Portal idea, but something physical that you could hold in your hands. And I'm happy to confirm that after a lot of trial and error, this was indeed what I managed to do, and here it is. So this is kind of one for, sort of electronic nerds and people that are interested in building custom controllers and things for Elite. So there's lots of talk of Arduinos and multiplexers and stuff. So if you're interested in the in-depth technicalities of how you might go about building yourself a nice big button box, then it's an interesting watch. He recommends some good bits of CAD software for drawing out your circuit boards and your designs and stuff, and then translating all that to laser printers. So it's got a lot of good details in it, and if you're interested in custom controls, then probably one for you. And lastly, just one I watched today, which I think I and Ben can probably relate, because we were talking before the show about how this weekend's Distant Worlds 3 waypoint is very high or very low, not quite sure which way up in the galaxy. So it's one of those places where you look down on a very distant galaxy. So this last video is stranded outside of the galaxy and rescued by DW3, using VR to see one of life's biggest mysteries by VR Florian. VR Florian's done some sort of very thoughtful pieces, big VR fan, and very sort of into the immersion and sort of really losing yourself in VR. And it's quite fun. So basically, to cut a long story short, what happened is that VR Florian spotted this very remote star, even higher. I'm going to say up for the sake of argument, even higher up than the Distant World 3 waypoint decided to make for it, and found right at the top a what they assumed was a neutron star, which would let them get back again. And when they got there, discovered it was not a neutron star; it was a white dwarf, and they could not get back again.
Oops.
So no huge sweat. They had friends, and they basically called in someone with the fleet carrier to come and rescue them. But they had a while to wait, an hour or so to wait for rescue. 18 hours, I think it says in the description. So lots of time to sort of reflect on the total perspective vortex, shall we say. And it's quite persuasive. I mean, I know what it's like in VR. I don't play a lot in VR these days, but to be in VR and to be in this totally black environment where below you is the entirety of the galaxy, basically, and above you is pretty much nothing, except they could see this one dot in the distance, which was another galaxy. Basically they had 18 hours to kill and spent far too long reflecting on the meaning of life, the universe, and everything. And I think it had quite a profound effect on them. But it's a good watch, and I know what they mean. Like, Elite can have that effect if you let yourself. The thing to remember with Elite, and although it's just a video game, is by its nature, it's the fact that it's a full-scale model of our galaxy means that it's very valid to reflect on the fact that the place that VR Florian found themselves in, and the view that they found themselves contemplating, it does exist for real. We'll never go there, but it's not made up. That is real, and when you start thinking about that, it can be it's good mind blowing stuff. So yeah, I enjoyed that, and that is this week's brief community corner.
So excellent. Yes, if you have a community event taking place soon and you'd like us to shout out about it across the airwaves, tweet the crew or blue sky the crew at Lave Radio, email us at info@laveradio.com, or drop us a suggestion in your community corner channel on our Discord. So the in-game events, what has been happening this week? Well, there's only really been one Galnet article, which has been that the October Consortium have just said, oh, thanks very much for all your Guardian artifacts. Here's your rewards. Now bugger off. So, yeah, that's been basically it. But, of course, the main ongoing things that have been happening has been the pirate and the rescue CGs. So, at this point, I'm going to let Psychit unleash her thoughts.
Okay, yeah, I can talk about it a little bit. It's so close to being like back. I will say last week I was talking about being in the hangar and overheating. Tried it again later in the week. There were still certain instances where I was in the hangar and overheating. I appreciate everybody who told me I was doing it wrong in Lave Discord, but it's genuinely what happened. Like, I don't go into a hangar, have the hangar close at 80 and then come back out at 158. That's just what happened in one instance. And funnily enough, there is video of it. So, those were the kind of things that did happen. It wasn't consistent, and other people were saying that they were experiencing the same thing, but it wasn't consistent. I don't know what that is or why that would be the case. I'm not a programmer. A programmer type person, but like being sat actually in the bay and it being a point where it's not gaining heat and then hearing the heat warning, being sat in the bay is a thing, and it did happen to me on multiple occasions. It's not just a waiting thing. So even with it being sealed shut, it still happened to me. I cannot stress that enough. It did happen. Anyway, I've done it's my I don't know if I mentioned that it's my favorite thing to do. So I've done a lot of it. So I have experience of it not happening. So when it does happen, I'm aware of it. Anyway, other things about it. I'm not sure I like the big passenger missions, like the massive ones, the 120 odd people or 215 odd people. I would have much rather taken multiple much smaller missions and then had a bit more variance in delivering folks to different places.
Do you think they've skewed that to the links?
Yeah, 100%. And had the links been an ARX purchase, I would have been incensed at this point about it. But I feel like I wish it was. I don't like this the bulk mission thing. I would prefer to see them as smaller missions, and then I'm just piling in more people. Like piling in multiple missions, because going to a rescue place, taking one mission for 215 people, going and delivering the those people to wherever they want to go, and then turning back and redoing it. It's fine. It's a fine thing to do, but I miss the idea of having variation in it, and then picking up maybe 4 missions and then dropping them off at different stations and then going back feels more fun to me and less repetitive. That's my main takeaway from it. I still love doing it, and it genuinely, I don't want to lose it being in game. I'm really excited about the premise of it being linked to linked to the system state, with the possibility of that being something that happens going forward. But also that also has its downsides, as we will probably talk about in just a second. Colin, what do you think about it? What are your notes?
Well, my notes was the fact that, I mean, I haven't had an occasion where I didn't take heat. I mean, I was docking, I dropped a heat sink before landing, so I was landing on practically zero heat, and I was leaving after just basically picking up one load of politicians, and and I was leaving the landing pad at 140% heat. So,
Wow.
yeah, I was there thinking this has got to be part of the new missions, because I also noticed there's no Thargoid caustic substances over these burning stations as there was in previous times. So they've obviously gone and done a little bit of work to clean that up, to say no, this is human caused, which I thought was good. But yeah, I just have a little bit of problem, and it's the same as you, Zyget, is that I don't mind the big 120 people. The problem was that most of the missions I had to go to was at least 100 and 120 light years away.
Really?
So, I was doing 6-7 jumps in order to drop them off. I was getting paid a lot, but it's a bit of a chunk when that's the only mission available. So you grab everybody on there, and then you leave, and then you find out, I've got another 6 or 7 jumps to go.
That's so wild that you had that experience, because I only ever had one jump. I feel like if I'd had more jumps, it would have felt a little bit more paced for me. But that's so weird that our experience was so different.
Yeah, I mean that was the first 2 or 3 that I attempted.
Mm-hmm.
The ones later on, they've all seem to have been just 2 jumps away, but they've only been sort of 1 or 2 million per 100 politicians. Really, is that worth it? Is that worth it? Let's be honest.
I've been deliberately going in and looking for the material rewards, because the material rewards are great.
Yes, they are.
So, material rewards, as always. Friendly reminder, best way to rank up with the Federation at the moment is by doing station rescues. But yeah, it's been funny. It's been funny. It's like, it's almost back, but it's just different. It's just different that I'm a little bit disappointed about.
Yeah, I mean, Nicey and I were discussing this during one of my streams, where I was there saying, this has got to be new. This is the new gameplay. You're burning all the time. Well, she was saying, no, it's a bug. You're not supposed to get heat when you go down into the landing bay. And I'm there going, well, when you think about it, the station's burning.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you've got these bulk missions where you're taking 215, so you can only take one knot at a time, well, maybe that's a good thing, and you should still be burning inside the station. Maybe that's the tweak that they've made, and then if you're like inside the dock, you should still be burning inside the dock, because you're right, Colin, it's on fire. So there's no magical heat sinks that point at you in the station or something.
Yeah, because when you're in the docking bay, you can't launch heat sink.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You should heat up. Objectively, the way that it's happening weirdly to some people and not to other people should make it bad. It should feel dangerous, and there should be like an impetus to leave the station as quickly as possible once you've rescued all of those people. So I would prefer to see you gaining heat all of the time.
Yes.
But if it's inconsistent, I don't like.
Oh, no. I mean, I've from my experience of this, when I'm gaining heat, yes, it puts a little bit more motivation into getting out of there. So I'm all for it, even though some people are not.
Yeah.
Can I clarify? Because
Certainly.
because being on DW3, I haven't had a chance to do this. So the way I remember it always worked was that you definitely had to use heat sinks and things, and there was lots of debris, and you had to get down to the pad and you had to land, and all there was definitely lots of tension and about doing that. But the minute you descended and then the pad sealed above you, you wouldn't heat up anymore. And
No,
I
you
was always
just cool down.
Yeah, and I was always fine with that. Like, okay, the fire is on the surface, and inside the emergency landing pad bay, they've got cooling, and I never had a sort of like an immersion issue with it. And also, and like Colin was saying earlier, as well as these rescues, if you're doing the bounty hunting thing, you've got to land in these stations to hand in your bounties. So I always assumed that Frontier did it deliberately because you're sitting there scrolling menus and you're thinking about which mission to take, and you that shouldn't be under time pressure. I don't think that feels like a bug to me.
I think.
Oh, go on, Psychic. You first.
I think with bulk passenger missions being a thing, it makes it less of if when you're inside the station, when you're inside the dock and you are gaining heat, if that's intended or not, I don't think it is intended, and only because of how inconsistently it's happened to me. I've been very aware of it happening when it happens, because you're inside the station and you're docked, and you know that when you're inside when you first got there, like I've been firing off a heat sink literally as I've landed, and I've watched my heat at 0, and then I'm docked and I've held myself there, and I've heard the warning going, your ship is overheating, when I've been like fully docked and underneath the thing. So that was like one where I left at 80 after dropping my heatsink, and my links runs relatively all right as far as temperature is concerned. That is a technical term, but with the bulk passenger missions, I think there's a if the station is heating, you only take one anyway, so you're basically in and gone, and you don't have to scroll through all the menus. But I wish that there was an option for like bulks or smaller groups who could go on bulk the way it was before, but without having a rescue ship and having multiple stations that you had to visit to drop them off. That would be my ideal situation, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, I do prefer the fact that you do heat up, even though we're seeing from the chat that the people are claiming that it's actually capped at a certain amount, but we'll have to do some research into that, because
I wish it could be consistent, and then I could fully confirm that I've done all of my research, but I think it's like different pads that I'm landing at even.
Yeah. Ben?
Am I right in thinking that before we had the Thargoid rescue missions, wasn't there some kind of spate of terrorist attacks or something?
Yeah, NMLA terrorist attacks.
And they made burning missions too, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had burning missions too, but the Thargoids were the first to come up with a burning mission.
The burning station, the original burning station missions was UAs, wasn't it? That was back in the day.
No, back in the day, it was there'd been a Thargoid attack. It was a 2. This was way back in 2.4, and it was one of these things that Frontier were hiding from people, because it was one of those things they'd been secretly developing, and then all of a sudden, because I remember this, because Grant went absolutely ballistic for it. He thought it was fantastic. That all of a sudden one station went on fire, and the Hutton truckers were doing organizing, and so were a lot of other of the older groups, and of course the Ganker groups were out to try and stop people from actually rescuing people. It was a major event, and the first time you saw a burning station, that was astounding, because we'd had the Thargoid interceptors and all that kind of stuff, but to see a Coriolis on fire,
So did we go from the Thargoids attacking it and making it burny, then we had terrorists making burny,
and
then we had Thargoid Bernies.
The early ones were just like random systems, were they not? Or
Yeah, they had to be triggered by Frontier. They weren't part of any part of the background simulation. Where in the Thargoid War, obviously it was part of the Thargoid. Yeah, that was.
And wasn't there also a thing about these terrorist groups using Thargoid weaponry to explain away the fact that the burning station
that it looked exactly the same?
had
Yeah,
Thargoid spatter all over it, and they had to like story
I'm
that
sure
away.
I remember
like industrial goop.
Firefire ones rather than green goop.
No, it was green goop on the NMLA.
Green goop. Yeah, it was green goo on
Absolutely
that one.
green goop because it was hilarious because it was green goop, and then I think there was like a subsequent one where like a subsequent Galnet where it was explained away. I'm sure.
Explain the green goop.
Yeah, quick! Let's make sure we've added this to the lore that it's like some kind of toxic weaponry or something like that, so it looked the same.
Yeah, enzyme bombs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I'd like, and I agree with you, Colin, about you liking the fact it's getting heated up. Just shove some flames in the bay.
Oh, there are.
Although, okay, do they used to, like in the hangar where you're?
Well, yeah, because when you're flying in, there can be explosions in the hangar that knock you off course.
No, I don't mean in the central, but I mean in your docking bay.
Oh.
When you're actually docked up.
Nah.
And have some flames there to explain why it's heating up.
It's normally like flashing lights and stuff in the docking bay because we had it on our it was on our loading screen for ages.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like sparks and stuff, but it wasn't fire. It wasn't like
Yeah, I'm just thinking
fire.
If
I think it's a residual fire.
Then it would explain it could explain visually why you're heating.
Well, I would say that you can actually, when you go in there, there's actually a lot of smoke and debris in the approach, and that's really, really good.
Yeah, that's always been the case, and it's always beautiful.
Yeah. I assume you can't disembark.
No, you can't disembark.
No.
So I wonder how the passengers get onto your ship.
Mad skills, big running. They run real fast. And with urgency, because as soon as you've taken that mission and it's auto-filled, you are gone, my guy. So they've got maybe 2 seconds to put. They've got 2 seconds to get 215 of them on that station.
Yeah,
you must admit, the Highliner's got four ramps, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, extra pay has to be given to the flight attendants for getting everybody in and with the seatbelt
and buckles on. Yeah.
Although I must admit, the actual sound effect of people filling up filling up all the seats, I keep on thinking, my God, this is Tom and Jerry. It sounds like a Tom and Jerry.
Is there a sound effect for that?
Oh yeah, there is.
Oh my word.
That's it.
Okay, yeah.
It's so fun. It's a fun noise.
Okay, I thought you meant that you can actually hear them running on in panic.
No, you can't hear them running and screaming, Ben.
Okay, that's what I thought Colin was on about.
They've not included that Foley just yet.
Not yet, anyway. So yes, it's So I mean, personally for me, I'm really enjoying them. So I'm going to I will give them thumbs up for both, 2 thumbs up.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. There's a lot more good than there is questionable. I've still got a bit of nostalgia for the way that they were previously. Yeah. One last thing before we move on from this. It's they did run out.
They did.
They did run out. They ran out because everybody did such a good job that the system state changed. For all of the different factions. Obviously, the Federation factions went first, but the system state changed, and so the rescue missions went away. Frontier have God-handed the system states back to pirate attack, but apparently there is a problem with it at the moment in that it's been done on their end. This was like just before the show started, so this might not even be a thing that's a problem anymore. But the issue, I'm going to quote Phil or whoever wrote this on Frontier. The issue itself is fixed, and we've seen around 16 billion people evacuated since that happened. However, as you know, it hasn't pulled through for every server just yet. This always takes time. However, it's taking a much longer time than we would expect, and so we were looking at what could be causing that, which isn't something that they currently have an answer for, but they're trying to get information, whatever information they can. In the meantime, be patient, and those missions will hopefully come back for you.
Excellent. Yes. Well, fingers crossed, because I haven't been in since yesterday, so I'll be doing.
Yeah, I'm planning on doing it on Thursday, so I don't know who not. What was the last thing I was gonna? Oh man. There was definitely something I was going to say about them then. Oh, yeah, which means that they could be tied to a BGS state. So if we might see them just like naturally, randomly appear in the galaxy when systems go into pirate attack mode. Who knows? I'm crossing everything.
Would you like it to go into pirate attack when it's specifically tied to that one state, pirate attack?
But I think so. If it's pirate attack or pirate attack or terrorist attack, one of the two, I'd love to see.
Yeah.
I'd love that to be a thing where if pirate attack equals yes, and there are compatible stations to change the model, change the model and start a thing.
Ask a silly question. Why not? When in the BGS, when you're fighting over control of a station. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't that be an ideal situation for this kind of thing?
Not necessarily, no, because you're not. Whoever wants control of that station isn't going to want it to be on fire either when they get it. Well, so why are you setting fire to the goods that you want? It's like going, I'd like a car, but first, before I buy that car, I'm going to set it on fire.
Well, there are certain individuals in real life who would, if you can't have it, if I can't have it, no one will.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I don't like the idea that you could. I mean, the pirate attack thing is it's a random thing. It's not forced in by the BGS.
Yeah.
I'd like it to make sure that it is just a random thing, because I don't want players, flavor factions going, okay, now we'll really screw another faction over by turning all their systems on fire.
I'd like that for about a week, but the trouble is people just do it all the time.
Yeah. I wouldn't hate it if it was related to the security state in the system. So if, like, even with colonized systems, obviously I would want it to affect everything and not just like colonized systems should not be vulnerable from shit like this. But I'd love to see it less likely to occur in systems where the colonization has been worked, so it's of a better security. This is in my hypothetical situation where this is directly going to end up being directly connected to the BGS.
Yeah. I mean, well, let's hope so. I mean, we never know. There is that thing that will be coming later in the year after operations. But
what, you mean the CQC update?
Oh, please don't.
Please. I would be happy with that.
Only you would.
Oh no, presumably the CQC community would probably appreciate it as well. Yeah.
Come on, with all this staircase action, it's clearly shipping serious.
No. Don't fire that, because there'll be a huge themes on the blooming forums. Like this last week, I put one comment on the forums that has just blown up, and I just thought, oh no, I'm standing away from this one. And so don't do things like that. Right. Power play rankings. In 12th, they've got our usual suspect of Denton Petraeus. He's lost yet another system, and his total has dropped to 645. In 11th, Torval has lost another system. The Spider Queen is now down to 751. Delane, on the other hand, has gained 6 systems in 10th, and his total has risen to 820. In 9th, we have Winters, bringing her total up to 1,071. 4 new systems for her. And the same in 8th for Antal, who has now gained 4 systems up to 1,261. Archer remains in 7th, gaining 3 systems. His total is now 1,297, while Kane gains 11 systems, bringing her total up to 1,393. Grom remains steady at 1,427, no new systems gained. While Lee Young-Ru in 4th gains 5 systems, bringing his total up to 1,766. In 3rd place, Arissa gains 3 systems, bringing her total up to 1,884, while in 2nd, Mahan gains 2 systems, bringing his up to 2013. In top place, we've got Guess Who? Well, it's that blue-haired Princess Bathwater herself. 8 new systems for her, bringing her total up to 2,520 systems. And that is your Power Play ranking for this week.
Oh, no change there, eh?
Yeah, a bit quiet this week, to be honest. I think everybody's rescuing politicians.
Kane's still doing well. Well done, Chicken Cow God. She's out there doing the work.
She's doing the improvements, yes. Kane has gained the most this time, so good for them. And I think people have given up on Patreus or Torval. I mean, the loose screws are making jokes that the 3 people that are playing them can't get the bonuses anymore because they took away the 1-ton training. So yeah, that's not much to say about Power Play at the moment. Probably until operations come in, but then yeah, we'll discuss that later. Which brings us to that time of the week.
Store alert! In the bi-weekly newsletter, here come paint jobs for your art. In the bi-weekly newsletter, here come paint jobs for your art. A store alert, a store alert, a store alert, a store alert, a store alert. Which one will you buy? A store alert, 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 a store alert. Which one will you buy?
Well, there's nothing actually new in the store, so to speak, because everything is all about the Lynx high liner. However, if you have cash to spare, the sale on this time is Gutamaya and Sound Kruger ships. They are getting all those wonderful airline-like paints. So if you want your Imperial Cutter to look like a Ryanair ship, or your Imperial Clipper to look like something out of Jet 2, or your Orca to look like Spirit. Oh, no point with that one.
Oof! They're going to want some aloe for that burn.
I can't think of another one for Dolphin, but you know,
was there?
Yeah, Wizz Air. So yes, if you want your passenger vessels to look like passenger vessels, then yeah, they've got cut prices on that one. So yes, will anybody be buying these?
No.
No.
I mean, some people won't. Some people won't. I will be. I'm sure. I won't. No.
I mean, I will admit some of the Imperial Clipper ones, I do have a bit of a fondness for the Imperial Clipper, but yeah, I'll save my arcs for something a little bit, well...
The only thing I'll say, the Clipper that's got the red, white, and blue skin, I am getting, the Phoenix from Battle of the Planets vibes from it. It's like a rounded version of that.
Oh yeah, I can see that. I can see that now you mention it.
I mean, I don't want it enough to want it, but I've seen it.
Fair enough. I mean, I might be tempted for that. Everybody knows I'm a Battle of the Planets fan, but yes, which is why I fly the Corsair so much.
I don't think I've ever flown either of those two big liners, the Beluga or the Orca. I've flown the Dolphin, but that's because it was a buckyball race that required a Dolphin.
Yeah.
But I don't know why. I've never felt the inclination to fly them for like any reason.
Well, the Beluga's not included. It's only the Orca and the Dolphin.
Well, still not going to be buying shit for them.
No.
Is it the Beluga that's got the massive tail fin that people always
Yes.
catch on a mouse slot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the Beluga. I mean, she's a whale, but I like her.
Okay.
Good.
But we have to salute the ultimate Beluga pilot, which is Commander Picard, who is still out there flying.
Yeah, I mean, he can fly it for me. It's fine.
Well, so yeah, 07 Commander. Right, okay, we're going to take an ad break, and then we'll come back with some discussion.
The Federal Navy. We want you for Adventures Unlimited.
Just last week I was mixing Sidewinder slammers at a seedy space bar. I wasn't even pilot registered. And now I have a ship and a basic starting mission for the Federal Navy.
Owing to recent actions in the Lave region, the Federal Navy now seeks to recruit another 1,000 entry-level pilots. We need you to add your strength to our military machine.
I'm going to see the galaxy.
We have missions for all pilots, regardless of combat experience or flight hours. Come and talk to us and we'll get you on the military ladder. Join the Federal Navy. Make a real pilot of yourself, or die trying.
Wait, what's that? Is that a ship coming? Are they looking for me? What do they?
I was overseeing the delivery of some slaves to the starport in Exios, and a cleaning robot had just washed the floor, but not left a warning sign. I had to run after a slave that was escaping, and I slipped and fractured my wrist. I was delayed for 10 whole minutes while the Medicomp repaired the damage. My time is billable. Can I get compensation?
Yes, you can.
I was on a regular trading run back to Sol, and it was my job to repaint the outside of the ship. I was given the wrong kind of EVA clamps. Nothing bad actually happened, but it did give me a fright. Can I get compensation?
Yes, you can.
I was checking some robots through customs when I distinctly heard an official call the robots clanks. I was deeply offended, even though I'm not a robot myself. That's their word. You're not allowed to use it. Can I claim for moral outrage?
Yes, you can. At Cowell and McGrath, we are now taking any kind of legal action. No case too small, no justification too frivolous. If you've been lightly inconvenienced, embarrassed, or in any way put out, then someone should be made to give you money. Don't be a stupid clank.
Excuse me?
Cowell and McGrath, taking on any case, playing the percentages.
From the creators of luggage limpets and passenger lounge suitcase shuttles comes the latest revolution in passenger transportation, the passenger cannon. For centuries, circus performers have perfected the technique of being fired from a cannon. Paired with our new memory gel passenger pod impact absorption technology, you too can speed up disembarkation times from your liner by up to 250%. No longer be limited by pad sizes and excessive docking fees with the passenger cannon. But how does it all work? First, all passengers will be issued with a passenger pod inflation suit during transit. On approach to your passenger's destination, simply fill the inflation suit with our patented impact-absorbing memory gel. Then, once in a stable position in proximity to the destination, effortlessly slide them into the disembarkation chamber ready for launch. The passenger cannon is now available in both gimbaled and turreted varieties to make aiming elementary. Make your liner one of the top 1% in the galaxy. Buy a passenger cannon today. Warning, passenger cannon must not be operated on high-gravity planets or near geysers.
Get ready. Lave Radio.
And welcome back. Well, as everybody knows now, operations has unfortunately been delayed until June, while Frontier do whatever they need to do in order to get it into a playable state. However, one of the things they did give us was a lot more details of what to expect, which, to tell you the truth, was quite enlightening. Just quickly to summarize, we know that we're going to be getting 6 starting scenarios, which we'll probably go into more details next week. There are 2 modes that this thing comes in, which is mercenary and power play. Apparently, we have an operation runner, which is going to be the person that creates the squad for the actual operation to run.
No, that's the name. That's the ship.
Is
That's
it?
the ship. The ship is the operations hub, though. That's what they refer to. Refer to as the operations hub is the ship that you will respawn from. It will jump you to the area altogether where the operation is. That's that.
I'm getting mixed up with the squad leader there. Right, okay. So yeah, we've got the Elite Dangerous Operations Jump Ship, which is if any the commanders are defeated during any stage of the operation, they respawn there where their ship is refueled, rearmed before they can redeploy back into the action. Then we've got inviting other commanders into the operation. So after setting up an operation, a squad leader will be able to invite other commanders to their operation, although they do need to be docked to to an operation area to send out an invite. So and as has been highly publicized, other people don't need to be in the same location as the squad leader. They can. And I know everybody hates the telepresence thing, but they can join in via that method. Then finally, there is a squad matchmaking, whereas if you don't know everybody who's if you don't have a squad or a load of friends you can call on,
If you ain't got any mates.
Yeah. Basically, there's pickup group, which is something that I've wanted for CQC in absolutely ages, where you can actually just wait and send out requests and open access, waiting for people to join your squad. Now, that does seem to be the case of operation or squad leader says, right, okay, I'd like to run an operation. Have I got friends that I can call on? Yes. Can you join? Yes, we'll come and join. Or I will wait via matchmaking for other people to join. I've seen that mechanic in MMOs all over the place. Looking for pickup groups is standard MMO stuff. And then once you've completed your operation, you will get rewards, unique rewards. Completing an operation will grant a commander a selection of rewards, including credits, merits, materials, and Merc coin. Notice the F-bucks seem to get dropped.
Yeah. They missed a trick. They missed a trick with fucks. I'm so upset.
F-bucks with a silent B. Yeah. So the Elite Edition operations have a Merc coin shop. And Merc coin is the new earnable currency obtained by successfully completing operations that can be used to purchase rewards, such as ship modules and engineering blueprints. And Merc coin is issued following a successful operation, and commander will receive a weekly bonus for the first time certain activities are completed. The brand new earned currency is not purchasable by ARCs. So that's an important one. Alongside Merc coin, commanders will receive other rewards for completing scenarios such as materials, credits, and, of course, merits, which is power play mode. The value of these things will vary in difficulty. And one of the important things they have said is as operations expand over time, there will so will the rewards, which means that, okay, we start off with 6, but there are going to be more operations coming.
Mm-hmm.
So, where do we want to start? The first thing that I'd like to talk about is mercenary versus power play mode. Just lightly. So, mercenary mode. What's everybody's opinion of that? Because it seems to me that just seems to be hived off everything from the BGS or anything, because it doesn't seem to be connected. It's a standalone thing that you can just call up your mates and do.
It's CQC it's on CQC, isn't it? I mean, set up a different way. It's not like you go to a different menu outside the game. So in that sense, it feels a bit more connected. But yeah, I don't think either mode are remotely connected to the BGS.
Yeah, I agree. It's that is one section where I'm like, oh, let me find out a little bit more about it. Let me see. Let them cook for a little bit with it. A lot of the information that we've got here, I'm about, but it's it's kind of like as expected.
Power play mode to me feels like a bit of a hack in that what they've done is it sounds a bit like you complete your operation for which you get some score, and if you happen to have ticked the power play mode box at the beginning, then that score is copied into the game proper, as in it's copied into some undermining points or something.
Yeah, from what I understand, it all depends on where the squad leader actually triggers the operation.
Yeah.
So and you can only do this to undermine. You can't do it in your own systems.
Yeah. So it will give you a specific the destinations will probably be different in a power play for the power play scenarios. Basically, is my takeaway from it.
So I mean, as far as mercenary is concerned, I mean, I'm a little bit disappointed about the fact it's not connected into the BGS in some way. Although, for all we know, it that might get connected to the BGS coming later in the year. But I do actually quite like the power play mode, because I think giving another method of undermining is something which that gameplay mode really needs at the moment.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how many balance passes they're prepared to take on that. Obviously, completing an operation will grant you a certain number of undermining points, and get that wrong, and either it's useless or it's too powerful, and as is usual with these things.
Why does power play have to be the golden stepchild?
Why is this?
Why does power play deserve all this, but no other gameplay style does?
Well, it's not
fair.
In with respect, power play isn't being like the golden child in this. It's just giving people an option to
Yes, so where's my options to do it in the BGS?
I think, Ben. I think one of the issues is that it would be quite hard to feed the outcome of an operation into BGS, because BGS depends on trade and exploration and combat bonds and
so why
ultimately
can't,
what powers it is all the bonds and things, and maybe there are no bonds in operation. Maybe there is no trading in operation.
Hang on, everybody! You're talking over each other here.
Yeah, sorry.
Alec, finish your point, then Ben, you jump back in.
Alec's jumping in before I get a chance to say anything.
Sorry, go for it, Ben. I've said.
Okay, yeah, Ben. Off you go.
I think it doesn't.
Why does operations, which is doing combat, fighting against other people, why does that not? Why can the actions you take there not equate to some kind of combat actions that you would take doing anti-piracy patrols, etc., in a normal system? You have it affecting the system that the squad leader is taking off from, and if they're attacking somebody that is allegedly in that system, or if they're defending, then you would have either essentially working for or against that power.
I
Oh, go on.
That
Psychic, you
BGS
first.
power, obviously, not power.
I think I can probably answer your question in that we don't know how far away when we take a mission. We don't know how far away we don't have a big enough picture of it at the moment to give you a definitive answer as to why. All we can do is speculate on whether or not why it won't help you. Why taking an operation in X system and bringing people who are based in different systems all over the galaxy, why all of that wouldn't have the same effect on BGS. I think in saying that, I think I'm kind of getting a good idea why it wouldn't, but that's not to say that it doesn't now, and it doesn't now because it doesn't yet. And this is something potentially, as Frontier have said, it's something that they're looking to develop on and looking to stretch and looking to grow. And this is the base system that they're building from. I don't see any reason why, like, it's got the bare bones in currently, or when it finally goes in with these 6 missions, and they're going to see how they react to each other in that way. And we joke about it all the time, the feature unlock at the end of the year, if this is a BGS feature unlock, maybe the plan is then, maybe they're working sort of hand in hand, tandemly, thinking about how operations is going to affect the new reworked BGS. Again, all entire speculation. But maybe they're looking at a way that they can work the whole as they're reworking the BGS, it's going to feed back into operations that way. That's the only thing that I've got. I'm super disappointed. I will add, I'm super disappointed that it isn't being put into a BGS thing, or there isn't a BGS implication, because it removes to some extent, it removes the impetus to do it. But I don't know. I don't know. And I think also trying it with power play, where those buckets are so well defined, is probably the easiest way first for Frontier to test the water.
Yes,
Yeah, Ben.
No, Alec, you wanted to answer. So
yeah, just to say, to finish on what you were saying there, Ben. So you were saying, like, for example, we fight people in BGS, but it's the thing. The thing is, it's not the fighting people that adds points into the BGS. It's the handing the stuff in afterwards, and we probably don't do that in operations.
You're not handing stuff in, but I would
You're
mark
not trading
the ending.
stuff. You're not trading stuff. You're not choosing where to hand in your bonds. You're not choosing which cartographics to hand in so you're not feeding anything into the BGS. You're just getting a score, and it's easy. I think Claire nailed it by saying, it's very easy to feed some end of operation score into power play, but it's much harder to feed an end of operation score into the BGS.
And the new BGS, or if it is a new BGS, and let's face it, if it is a new BGS, there might be an operations bucket to fill and those kind of things.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that we've got to remember about the difference between the BGS and power play is that players directly join their power. In the BGS, you influence the power. You don't have a direct link. You can join a squadron which is effectively connected to that power, that BGS faction, but you as a commander yourself can't.
I'm going to minorly disagree there, because if you're playing the BGS properly, you're doing missions deliberately for that power, or indeed working against.
Right. Yeah, I agree with
against, and so you are deliberately choosing a power.
Yes,
you're not, but you don't have an ID that is signed to that power. That is signed to that station or that faction.
There's nothing.
Yeah,
there's
that's
nothing.
fair.
Yeah, you'd have to go through the thing of, okay, is this commander connected to a power via a squadron? Otherwise, I've got no idea where to put the points.
I guess I'm seeing this as any mission. You get a mission from this faction, this faction, this faction, or this faction.
Mm-hmm.
Presumably, an operation could come from a faction.
We don't know yet.
We don't know at the moment. this is the thing. This is one of the reasons why I'm a little disappointed, is because these 6 scenarios, these 6 operations, are available to everybody across the entire galaxy at any time. And I'm there thinking, oh, I would like to, if an operation was available when a system hits this state or that state, but it's no. I mean, I understand that at the moment they're probably doing this to let as many people try it as possible, and then hopefully they could link it into the BGS at a later point. But I don't know. It just feels just like CQC. It's like a side project to Elite.
Yeah, it's a bit. The other thing. I'm very aware of the time, and we've got questions of the week, and obviously this isn't coming out until June, so we're going to be touching on this for a really long time. Be prepared for our deep dives into what we predict each mission is going to be. I'm not even fucking joking at this point.
June is only a month away.
Sorry?
June is only 1 month away.
Look, it's very early May. It's not even my birthday yet, and we're still in May. And you think we're not getting it in the last day of June? You've got another thing coming, mate. Did they clarify whether or not you'd be able to do these solo yet?
No.
No, they didn't. They said up to a team of 4. That says to me that you can try it in solo, but you might not get very far. So, yeah. I mean, I would prefer it if they actually scaled it, so that if someone did try it by themselves, then, everything is down. Everything is a lot easier because you are just by yourself. However, the rewards also scale all the way down. However, if you've got a full crew, then the difficulty goes hella up. And yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that. I mean, that would solve the can you solo this, and it would solve them having to do bots and all the stuff that goes with that. But yeah, all that we've got to go on for that is a team of up to 4 players.
Yeah. So you can only imagine that you can do them solo. I think they're going to miss the trick if they don't make them available solo, because it was a while ago now, but we were. I think we were told that it was like the majority of the Elite Dangerous player base have never seen another commander, and they just play in solo all the time.
80% or something like that.
That was a while ago. I don't know necessarily that that's still the case, but I think that I'd want to give it a go. I want to see if my gammy hands can manage a mission on its own. I think that'd be fun.
Okay, Ben?
I really hope they allow you to go and try and do it solo, and I really hope they make it fucking hard. Basically, technically you can do it solo, but if you complete it, you're a god.
Yeah, basically a bragging rights there, isn't it?
Yeah. That's the thing. It's kind of like that. There's a personal challenge to doing it, doing it solo as well. I would like start with an easy, and then see how you go on. Yeah.
Alec?
Yeah. I was just going to mention there was a very interesting discussion. I think not last week's, but maybe the week before on Loose Screws about this, and kind of just touching on the notion that actually, I confess I don't have the stats to this, but there was the claim that most Elite Dangerous players still play in solo, and I don't mean solo mode. I mean their gameplay is solitary. Mine is to a large part, and if you can't do operations solo, there may well be an awful lot of players for whom that's an immediate nope.
Yeah.
And I know we always say, it's lovely, come and play with other people, but if you imagine, I don't know, suppose there's 2 of you and 2 of you want to do it, and you've got a game plan for the operation, maybe you've run it before. It's the classic dungeon thing, you get a couple of randos in your group, and suddenly it's
that's what I wouldn't want
fun.
it. I would want the option to enter as 2 or 1 or 3 or whatever.
Yeah, so I really hope you don't have to fill a squad. in order
Yeah.
to do it. But like you
Yes.
said, they did say up to 4, so there will the shit will hit a fan if you do have to, because people will be saying, "Well, hang on, you said up to 4."
I think solo. Yeah, I hadn't thought about it like that, because solo can mean like a load of different things. Because there's nothing to say that just because a person like joins a private group, they're still doing so much of their a lot of their stuff is done in solo. Even playing in open, you're playing just a solo game on your own, and you're not like going out of your way to interact with other people. There's probably loads of, I can think of people who are in my private group who I will see, and they're just sort of like they're just flying around having their own fun, knowing that they're in a group where people aren't gonna interact.
That's me.
Like,
That's
take them
me.
out and
I'm
those kind of
90%
things.
solo, and then like
Yeah.
DW3, they're usually slightly later than I can attend, but they'll have these sort of group race events, and
Mhm.
A, they're a bit awkward timing wise, and B, I don't know how to say this without sounding unsociable, because I'm not, and I love things like ECM, and I love meeting people, and and all that
Mhm.
sort of stuff. But in game, I quite like just being left alone to do my
Yeah.
own thing most of the time,
Mhm.
if I'm brutally honest.
Well, okay. One quick go around, everybody. First impression from what you've seen from this announcement. We'll go with Ben.
I await more information.
Fair enough. Alec?
Yeah, I think no real change from previous expectations. I think it's really confirmed the notion that it's, for all intents and purposes, a separate instance thing, and not part of the actual galaxy, for want of a different way of phrasing that.
Fair enough. Psychic.
It is exactly what I was expecting, with one exception, but so I don't understand why I feel so nonplussed about it. I'm very interested. So it's definitely going to be something that we'll touch on in later weeks. Where have those mining operations gone? I'm very interested to see where they went.
Yes, interesting that. At the moment, I'm excited about the possibility that there's going to be a new way to undermine, because I do know that that's something that I know Power Play desperately needs.
Mhm.
As far as the mercenary mode's concerned, I'm not sure about that just yet.
Yeah.
But then again, I do enjoy a good session of CQC when I'm in the mood. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to be trying it. It's just at the moment, yeah,
Yeah.
bit more joined up, I think, is what I'm looking for, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
I feel that.
questions then, Psychic.
Yeah, so we asked the same question to you guys. We didn't get a huge amount of answers, and that's absolutely fine. If you don't know, every Sunday, when we have a show that is planned on the Tuesday, sometimes when we don't have a show that's planned on the Tuesday, and then like circumstances happen and all that good stuff, but usually on a Sunday between 12 and 2 p.m. Our UK time, I will whack a question of the week out. It will go in Discord, it will go to Blue Sky, and it will go to Twitter. Not much longer, probably, to Twitter, because it's very rare that we get a response. You know what? Fuck it. I just post it anyway. It's fine. But it's that if the reason it's around that time is because that is the time that I do a lot of my admin work, because that is the time when the Chris Mark IV does his show on Black Diamond FM on a Sunday. It's very good. You can listen to it anywhere. Just tell your smart speaker or go onto the website and go and listen to it. It's very good. He's very good. Even when he's slightly hungover. He wasn't hungover this week. That was the week before. That was a good one. But we asked, like, based on the information that we've got now, what are your thoughts about I was going to say Power Play operations? Has anything surprised you, and what are you excited about? And first, we got Cat, who says, realistically, all I expect from operations at this point is just a different way to experience Frontline. As much as I'd love to see different from my understanding, that's what it all... As much as I'd love to see different, from my understanding, that's what it's shaping up to be. The same 3 ships, the same 9 interiors, way too much credits as a payout. Probably a new rank to Elite, and that's it. Basically, Call of Duty, but Elite with but elite with elite flavouring, which hasn't been great previously. All in all, meh. Glad it's free. Wouldn't pay for it.
Fair enough.
Cat, that's scathing. I'm so sorry.
Burn. Let's see what Nicey thinks. I'm maintaining.
Go on. Sorry,
Go on.
sorry. You first.
That's right. I'm maintaining cautious optimism. From what we've seen so far, there is definitely potential. Blasting off station doors, locks, clearing out megaships. Yes, please. The fact that they've delayed it again means they're learning from the lessons of Odyssey, and that can only be a good thing. Plus, it's future-proofing the game by adding a whole new platform to deliver content on. Still hoping that there will be an option to do it solo, mostly because when I play, most of the people I would play with aren't around, but equally I get they want to make it a team experience. And I will also add a plea for them to add journal entries for things. Please? I mean, how hard can it be?
How hard can it be?
Drink.
I wonder what the thinking with the journal entries is.
Well, if there isn't journal entries, that'll be another reason why it's BGS problematic.
Yeah.
Right, Chicken Cow God is saying, to be honest, the only thing I can think of is that I'm not sure giving Operations its own game mode is entirely a good idea, especially for power play. We already saw how unfun, uncounterable reinforcement or undermining can be, with microtrading and the Odyssey data exploits, and I fear that putting these operations in its own, similar to CQC, could lead to some more unfair gameplay. But at the same time, I'm not quite sure how you could have countering operations interact. Best case scenario, you'd be able to see someone running operation and then be able to jump in and work against them or something. But if I'm being real, that's probably outside the scope of what FDev will do. Either way, Odyssey content, woo! I actually really enjoy the shooting part of the game, and I'm glad I will have more to do than just raiding the same settlement over and over.
That's a really good point. Those are really good points. And again, that's another thing that some folks might take an issue to when if it becomes something to do with BGS. Like, why can't we counter it directly? Those people.
Oh, I really hope it fucks up power play because it can't be countered. I really hope that.
Well, actually, this is where I wanted to pick up on this, is that at the moment, it's too difficult to counter reinforcement. At the moment, reinforcement wins all the time.
Yeah, it does sound, from what I've heard, like undermining needs a few more levers, right?
Yeah, and at the moment, I find it's far too easy to reinforce a system and keep a system up there at stronghold level than it is to try and undermine anything, even a one that's just been converted. It's really difficult to knock it back, and I feel that no matter how much they've gone and tried to alter the scales, it needs something a little bit more. And to tell you the truth, if you know you're already able to counter an undermine so easy, that I think it does need a little bit more on the scales in that way. And as far as Frontier's concerned, we know that they'll try and tweak the figures so that it sorts itself out later. I mean, I understand what he's saying about the fact. Oh, sorry, she's saying about what's happening with the fact that you can't counter something if you're doing a certain thing, because you know that was one of the whole problems with Power Play 1. But at the moment, that's not really a problem you have to worry about.
It just feels weird to me that you've got an entire new mode just to do this. And it's not something that's counted in the main galaxy.
No, that's what I'm saying. It is counted in the main galaxy at the moment.
Yeah, but it's not
other
counted
activities. It's counted by the other activities.
Yeah, but you said that the things that you do to avoid it are essentially useless, and there's not a lot you can do about it.
Other way
I'm
around.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Sorry, other way around, yeah.
Yeah, look, what I'm saying at the moment is that the way to all you get is undermining points for this, right? Yes, you cannot counter the operation itself, but you counter the operation's points by doing the other power play activities, which at the moment are far more stronger or far more in favor of reinforcement. So at the moment, yeah, power play is not going to change.
Yeah,
It's
that
not
makes
going
sense.
to change at all at the moment. It's just going to carry on being the same order, and nobody is going to move, and the systems aren't changing as much as they should have done, as much as we're hoping to for Power Play 2. And I think at this point, you do need something to help undermine. And that's where I'm coming from.
And it just strikes me that if you're going to do something to help undermine, you should be doing that in an open galaxy.
I disagree.
No, I disagree with that as well. I mean, I do feel that sometimes that the open galaxy things should be more weighted, but not.
I don't mean open only.
Yeah.
I don't mean open only or anything like that. I mean doing it in the main body of the game.
Well, the thing is, from what I understand, the squad leader, wherever they are, that is the point where you undermine. So that means that if you see people undermining, if you see people running operations in one particular system, you now know that system is something that you need to reinforce, and you can counter it.
Yeah, I guess we need to see if you can see that as something that's being done, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you'll actually be able to see it as you see your counter move down.
Yeah, because it will be immediate, wouldn't it? I forget that power play is immediate rather than on a tick.
Yeah,
well,
I mean,
more immediate.
Yeah, you'll probably see it within a couple of hours that all of a sudden you've gone from top of a stronghold down to about half of a stronghold. You know that system is under an undermining attack. So then at that point, you can then do other reinforcement activities to bring it back up the other way. It's not like kind of the BGS where you're having to
You've got to wait for the daily tick, yeah.
Which
that's what I. If they left the BGS exactly as it is, but gave it like more. Sharp Clay, you're getting ahead of yourself. We've got to wait until June. Let's get operations out of the way.
Yeah. So. Yeah, like I was trying to explain, Ben, it can be countered. It's just not by doing an operation. You counter it with the other game activities.
Mm-hmm.
So, right, I have Master of Games. I am quite surprised, again, at the amount of new content operations will have. Much more than I expected. Yes, I am really looking forward to the variety of missions soon to be available. Megaship massacres, surface rescues, burning stations, all served up via a new vessel, the Operations Runner. Plus, I might be able to meet some new commanders along the way if I'm lucky. But it just feels wrong that FDev have decided to run operations separate from the main galaxy. That choice doesn't feel right, especially if operations are supposed to affect power play and the BGS. I would really like operations to be in a special state that the station could be in, like an evacuation or something like that. Yes. I really.
Sorry, I just tried to teach you lingo. My apologies, Colin.
So I was getting there, don't worry. I really don't know what to expect, but even so, I am quite hyped for the operations drop, even if it is delayed a bit. But whatever the case, I won't complain if I enjoy it. And you know what this reminds me of, actually? It reminds me of those arcade games that you used to get where there were about 7 or 8 stages to complete a level, to complete a thing. So, you'd have your space combat stage, you'd have your running around, or you're shooting bits on a planet, and then finally running around and doing rescues. And it feels very much like that. And to tell you the truth, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. I mean, there's loads of stuff that I'm looking forward to. Like the whole idea of Operation sounds really fun. I wish it was more connected. It's like operations is. I'm so excited about operations with a caveat. I think I can live in both of those states still. Maybe. Isla Candela says, operations being separate to me seems more like the way solo or private group players are separate. These missions are said to be available when docked at starports, fleet carriers and squadron carriers, though that's accessed via the main game, unlike CQC, which, to my knowledge, requires its own installation and access via the launcher. Not its own installation, but you do need to, you have to access it outside. Am I right in saying that? Just to clarify?
You can launch a CQC game from the comms menu from anywhere.
Oh, okay, that's new. Cool. Bespoke isolated environment sounds like a flashy way to say instances. It does. And when multiple teams of 4 want to run Megaship Massacre Reclaim #5, we'll need them. You also generally can't lock out a location, current CG notwithstanding, for everyone every time multiple teams want to run, defend, /rescue or massacre at that location. It's annoying enough when a minor faction you want to rep is in lockdown or the one ground location they hold is a conflict zone. So again, locking current location seems like a bad time. The many megaship scenarios mentioned are easier. As of now, no such internal area exists, so zero chance of interrupting others. I haven't touched power play yet. I could maybe understand wanting to intercept or something, but I think you'll just have to run your own operations in opposition. Clandestine military operations usually don't announce themselves to enemies anyway, so camping a megaship to protect it and then blowing up people running mercenary mode by mistake wastes everyone's time and would only give griefers more to do. What will be interesting is to see how scenarios like burning rescue are handled though. Right now we have burning stations for a CG. I hope the operation takes place at stations like these and not in a pocket dimension. The CG only makes the landing pad /dock available. The operation could be happening in an instance within, so nothing is really different by making it separate. The issue here being how often and when stations are burning to avoid scarcity, but at least commanders not running ops have options too. So really hoping burning and surface rescue work the way current CG stations and conflict zones work. Now, what I really hope this leads to, unless these evacuees and enemies are just crammed into the concourse, the operation should take place in an area we couldn't access before, something new assets, which means we could just maybe have those areas made available later for other things. Same for those megaship interiors. Also, isn't it interesting that the only reward shown is a ship module, but all the gameplay has been on foot?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Incidentally, one guarantee of at least a tiny bit of not on foot gameplay is, the fact that they mentioned that the operations runner, which is like a little mini megaship. Incidentally, I have to say I did call that, although I'm sure loads of other people do. But the idea that an operation would be a 4-man megaship that you will get onto, it's a nice way to go.
Makes sense.
But yes, but because that's the respawn point. So suppose you're on foot and you're shooting and you die and you respawn on the operations run. It'll then be a question of jumping into your own ship, I imagine. The operations runner has 4 landing pads. And flying to the location where the on-foot action is happening. Possibly
or taking an adder.
Possibly fighting pirates on the way. So I feel pretty confident about a small ship portion in these operations, if only just to get to where the on-foot action's happening.
I'm hoping for a kind of 50-50 balance, to be honest, where there's just as much space action or vehicle action even. So there might be SRV content in there as well. But
yeah, I don't think they've mentioned that at all.
They haven't actually. No, they haven't mentioned any SRV action.
They're still, as far as I know, lacking SRV AI. So that might be a problem.
True.
Right, Finn McRaven. Apart from my 2 other main wishes, an overhaul of the smuggling loop to make it both worthwhile and fun, and more interaction with customization of your ship, operations is something I've been championing for many years. If they get this right, it's going to be a game changer and give Elite a shot in the arm just when it's needed. My main concerns, though, are whether solos will get the same experience and rewards as squads, and whether it will be worth the time and effort once the novelty has worn off. Given you can make millions quickly in any of the other loops, and that current ground missions pay peanuts, which direction will they go in? To be frank, I don't really need the money, and sure, the new experience is the main draw, but this is where I wish they'd be smart and have a plan to give away other things like ship kits, ships, and exclusive cosmetics continuously. Say for each type you unlock 10 tiers of rewards for each completed operation, and then on your 11th you just get credits. I'm also concerned about the time limit aspect. One thing I've always hated in games is having a ticking clock. Hopefully this will be restricted to where it fits narratively. But even for those, I'm already thinking these will be my least played. I also wonder if we'll see community-created operations down the line where commanders can put together their own campaigns and stories. Although maybe not, given it could clash with FDev's lore.
Almost certainly not.
Yeah.
But everything else I get. Like I understand the ticking clock thing. I totally understand. I think that's probably going to be like the amount of time it takes to hack something, or like what we have at the moment when you try and take a power regulator. Back in the day when we needed power regulators for everything, and you took a power regulator out of a settlement, and it would take 3 minutes for it to do all of the. Is it 3 minutes? It's either a minute or 3 minutes, one of the two. But it takes all that time to sort of like disengage. So you just have to sit there and twiddle your thumbs, or go away and go out and take it out on everybody else in the every other NPC in the station because you're bored. Too many NPCs have died because that's taken far too long. But it's probably. I think it's probably going to be. There'll probably be a reason. Like all of these people need to escape by this time because then the station's going to blow up.
I mean, this is one
like
specific scenario, isn't it? The megaship massacre reclaim, which says before time runs out at the end of its description. So there's a ticking clock for that one, by the sounds of it.
Maybe
I don't know that all of them are going to have them.
No, that's the only one that has that phrase, I think.
Right, Profane Pagan. I think the idea is to use Odyssey and to create a totally new gateway for future players who would arrive exclusively for the on-foot shooty-shooty. Thus, they award them with Merc coins, not fucks, and which will be used to buy engineered modules in order to help FPS-oriented players get their bearings in spaceship stuff. Makes sense? I think Operations is not only for us ED vets, but it's almost like a game within a game for a possibly new clientele. For this, the launch needs to work smoothly. Excuse me while I try not to laugh there. First impressions matter. Damn right they do. Maybe this is the reason for the delay. So, I low-key expect a marketing push with the arrival of Operations. Invite your friends into an FPS-oriented gameplay with new matchmaking.
There is one thing to say, is that if you're inviting FPS people into this, then the problem is they've still got to get the hang of a spaceship.
Yeah.
And it's not No Man's Sky.
It's not.
No, because I've been watching a couple of sort of Twitchers who have just picked Elite Dangerous up on the last Steam sale and thought, oh, well, we've heard about this. Let's give it a go. And yeah, the first hour or so of them trying to get their heads around flying the ship, we've all been there, and it takes a while to get there. But you know, I can't see them just picking up a Kestrel and flying straight into the mission.
It's interesting, isn't it? I love the hope in Profane Pagan's message saying, "Oh, this is advertising to a new clientele." The only thing that I have as a counter to that is that Jump Space is really good, as is Far Far West, as is Helldivers, as are lots of other games that cater specifically to that audience without you having to learn the technicalities of flying a spaceship.
Yeah. I mean,
that is a very true point.
I mean, to be honest, one of the reasons that I am looking forward to this is because it is that kind of arcade scenario thing that a bit like the way the mission packs are all sort of said to be becoming. So these are kind of like chain missions, but all in one session.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's something that I've always wanted. It's just we've got it so used to being linked into the BGS and the actual galaxy that these things don't affect the galaxy, but they do affect you.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm in a weird state with it. I just want to know more at this point.
So we'll talk about this more over the next few weeks.
We've got to get our content from somewhere.
We'll get content. It'll be fine.
It will be. Yeah, so we've got the other 6 scenarios to go through. That's one a week.
Hell yeah. Look forward to your question of the week about Check's notes, the counterattack scenario.
All right, has anybody got any other business?
Oh, I'm going to read Kremen's Mostly Clueless here, which is very, very specific for this week and this week alone, because it's on the CG is. If anyone is doing bounties for the CG in Cephi Sector, if anyone is doing bounties for the CG, there is a compromised navigation beacon in Cephi Sector DQ-Y B2, which is giving you so many more bounties than the Hazras is, and you can just fly back over and or like jump back over and put the bounties in. I hope I read that correctly. Good luck. But there's a compromised navigation beacon nearby which does bounties for a lot more.
Excellent. Right, let's do our shout-outs. Our sister station, Hutton Orbital Radio, it broadcasts on a Thursday at 8:30. You can tune in at twitch.tv/Hutton Orbital Truckers, or if you just want the audio, go to radioforthemug.com. For the discerning commander that likes a bit of CQC action, check out the CQC Discord at discord.me/Elite Dangerous CQC. We're giving shout-outs to the other Elite Dangerous podcasts. That would be The Guard Frequency, who do other space games as well. The wonderful Loose Screws, which are discussing practically the same thing, but with American accents. We also have the Distant Worlds podcast, which still is dragging Ben in. And
I avoided them all the other week.
And of course, if you speak French,
I just let the funky music do the talking.
That would be the wonderful Elite Dangerous podcast, who also do these fantastic custom missions as well. Now, following this, we have the latest Galnet News Digest, as provided by Commander Witherspoon and Commander Beetlejude. And we'd just like to thank everyone who's chipped in on the Twitch chat. And the in-game commanders are Andy Sharp 42, Actual Genuine Commander Huge J Appendage, Frozen Satsuma, and Katie Anna.
What? Is Katie's birthday coming up by any chance too?
Did you miss logging in? What are you doing logging to Elite, Katie? What's happening here? Are you well?
It's a special thanks, of course, go to Commander Tokuso, JM Tracks, and Ellen Stroud, who all created music that we use on this show. But that's it for yet another episode of Lave Radio. If you'd like to get in touch with the show, you can find all the contact links you need in the home/contact us menu of the laveradio.com website. We love getting your feedback on Spotify. Give us a like, leave us a comment, help us beat the algorithm. Thank you. Do let us know if you have any questions or if there's anything you'd like us to discuss in a future episode. Lave Radio is recorded live on a Tuesday evening at 8:30 and streamed out at laveradio.com/live. So, thanks to Psychic.
Thanks, guys. Night all.
Thanks to Alec Turner.
Thank you, Colin Ford. Good night all.
And thank you to Ben Mosswood.
Thank you, everyone, and good night.
Of course, special thanks goes to today's tech specialist. That would be the Pathis packet of crisps, or the crisp mark. I don't know how many.
27.
You're welcome.
Surely we were at 27 at this point.
So until next time, commanders, fly safe. And if you can't do that, fly dangerous.
inserted it. You need a safe word.
Space can be lonely.
I'm going to see the galaxy.
Ah, damn it. No worries, guys. Hold the fort for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Galnet News Update, 5th of May, 3312. Pirates have returned to the Lauman system, to the delight of commanders. Rescue missions came to a temporary halt at 7 PM yesterday, after all the pirates had been defeated and all the tourists needing rescue had been rescued. The pirate attack state lapsed, and other than the burning stations and the wrecked rescue ships outside, everything went back to normal. But that was no fun. Commanders wanted to battle pirates and to use their shiny, if somewhat scorched, new Lynx highliners to rescue more tourists. So the pirates have been invited back to provide another week of entertaining combat and rescue opportunities. Be sure to thank them for helping out next time you see them. If burning starports rescue missions can be caused by pirate attack, it may be that at some point in the not too distant future we will see more blazing stations and be able to rescue more gently smoking denizens in a completely organic and sustainable way.